Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Ganati Mirandasya Ganargana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my most humble, respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of my spiritual master. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And we've started reading ChaitanyaMangala by Lochana Dasa. And this is chapter 2. This is the beginning of ChaitanyaMangala, and the chapter is entitled Krishna's Decision to Descend as a Devotee. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda. All glories to Sri Advaita Acharya, the abode of bliss and happiness. All glories to Sri Gadadhar Pandit. All glories to Narahari Sarakara. All glories to Srivas, the authority on devotion. With all my heart, I worship the feet of the dear devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Please listen carefully to the following topics about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Previously, Damodar Pandit and Murari Gupta, two most intimate eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya, discussed the appearance of the golden avatar, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. For the benefit of everyone, that most important discussion is retold here. Damodar Pandit asked Murari Gupta, "Please explain why Gauranga appeared. I will become blissful by hearing these topics from you. Why did the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, leave his Sham Varna, cloud blue color, and assume a golden form? Why did he remove his dress as a gallant lover to adopt the dress of a sannyasi? Why did he travel so widely to preach? Why did he cry when chanting Radha Govinda? Why did he distribute Prema Bhakti in each and every home? I, Lochana Dasa, will tell you all these most confidential topics. By hearing them, the ignorant people of the world will get salvation." After hearing these questions, Murari Gupta replied, "Pandita Damodar, listen to me. I will explain these truths to you. In Satya Yuga, the scriptures say that Dharma has 4 limbs: mercy, cleanliness, austerity, and truthfulness. Treta Yuga has 3 qualities: mercy, cleanliness, and truthfulness. Dwapara Yuga has 2, cleanliness and truthfulness. And Kali Yuga has 1, truthfulness. In Kali Yuga, irreligiosity replaces religion. People reject the rules of Varnashram Dharma. Under the dense darkness of Kali, everyone becomes sinful and addicted to irreligious acts. Narada Muni, the greatest among the sages, feeling compassion for humanity, decided to rout Kali, the personification of sin, from the earth. Seeing that the snake-like Kali had swallowed everyone in sin, Narada appeared to re-establish religion. Narada Muni thought to himself, "Somehow or other, I must immediately bring the Supreme Lord Krishna to the earth. Only he can re-establish religion in this sinful age of Kali. The Vedas and the Agama scriptures concur that the desires of Lord Govinda is one of the desire of his pure devotee." Narada continued his contemplation. "If I am actually a true servant of Lord Krishna, I'll be able to bring Lord Yadurai Krishna into this Kali Yuga. First, let me observe the activities of the people in Kali Yuga, Then I will summon Sri Krishna, the embodiment of religion. I'll bring the demigods and Krishna's intimate friends and followers who will act as his weapons and associates. Narahari Gupta said to Damodar Pandit, "So, great demigods like Brahma, great sages like Narada Muni, and even Katyayana Devi took birth on this earth when the Lord descended. From Dwarka, members of the Yadu family expanded themselves to also appear on earth." Listen carefully. Now I will explain the appearance of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the essence of all incarnations. He displayed more compassion than any other avatar. Narada Muni, who always relishes and sings Krishna's names and qualities, became greatly distressed by the sufferings of others. He was eagerly traveling throughout the universe, giving out the holy names of Krishna. But, unfortunately, being too attached to material existence, the people of Kali Yuga refused to accept the holy name. While chanting the holy names of Krishna, sometimes Narada would cry or laugh loudly. Sometimes he became choked in ecstasy. Glorifying Krishna with his veena, Narada sometimes became submerged in the mellows of Krishna prema. Torrents of tears would rush from his eyes as he chanted Hare Krishna. Although that love filled Narada's body with ecstatic joy, the people of the world could not appreciate it. Amazed, he felt sorry for their fallen condition, and he thought of how to deliver them. The venomous snake Kali had bitten everyone, infecting them with the poison of Maya. Totally forgetting Krishna, people were madly pursuing sense enjoyment. Their hearts found delight in the endless waves of lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, and madness. Living the philosophy of I and mine, they wasted the valuable human form of life without ever inquiring about their real friend, the Supreme Lord. Narada Muni visits Dwarka. Narahari Gupta continued, "Thus, the great sage Narada, seeing the miserable condition of the people in Kali Yuga, thought deeply about their deliverance. Knowing that only the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna himself, could rectify the situation, Narada Muni set out for Dwarka, in the spiritual world. At that time, Lord Dwarkadish, having just spent the night with Queen Satyabhama, decided to visit the palace of Queen Rukmini. As soon as Rukmini learnt that Krishna was coming to see her, she became filled with ecstasy. Her body trembled in anticipation. Although the palace was already spotlessly clean, Rukmini, in the ecstasy of receiving Lord Krishna in her palace, dressed nicely and personally cleansed her private chambers. Musicians filled the air with sweet vibrations to greet the Lord. Placing pots full of water near the door, she lit ghee lamps and fragrant incense to provide an auspicious welcome for her Lord. Rukmini's lamentation. The good-hearted, topmost Queen Rukmini, along with Mitravinda and Nagnajit, joyfully received Lord Krishna. Rukmini washed his lotus feet with scented water and offered arti. Taking Krishna's feet as her only property, Rukmini held them to her breasts. While looking lovingly at the Lord, Rukmini cried uncontrollably. Chakrapani, Krishna, the wielder of the disc, became astonished, asked Rukmini, "Oh Devi, I can't understand why you're weeping. Please tell me why you're crying so profusely. The whole world knows that you are my favorite. Who is more dear to me than you?" And Krishna continued, "Have I disobeyed any of your orders or done anything wrong? My dear, are you still disturbed over that time I joked with you? Feeling guilty about that, I tried to pacify you in many ways, but I couldn't soften your heart." Remembering that time when Krishna spoke cruel words to her, Rukmini spoke in an angry tone mixed with affection. "My heart may be hard, but still I am most fortunate in that you are my life and soul." Rukmini continued, "My Lord, your lotus feet are more dear to me than even you yourself. After drinking Madhvika, an intoxicating celestial drink, Lord Shiva dances continually, hoping to attain your lotus feet. Prabhu, you know everything there is to know. How is it you don't understand the heart of one who loves your lotus feet? You will understand the intensity of the love I feel, if you cultivate Radha Bhav, the mood of Srimati Radharani's selfless love within your heart. Becoming astonished by hearing these words of his dearmost Queen Rukmini, Lord Krishna asked her to explain it again. Lord Krishna said, "O Devi, I didn't understand what you have just said. What is it that remains unknown to me? Your words have captivated my heart. I've never heard before that there was something which I did not understand. What is that rare substance which is most valuable in the three worlds? Though I cannot perceive the meaning of your words, my mind has become blissful just by hearing them. O Devi, I beg you, please tell only me." With complete faith in the lotus feet of the Lord, I, Lochana Dasa, describe these transcendental pastimes. Hare Krishna. The power of Krishna's lotus feet. Murari Gupta continued. Rukmini Devi, the goddess of fortune, replied to Lord Krishna, "My dear Lord, you're the crest jewel of all transcendental qualities. Within your heart, you can't know why I'm crying, even though everything else is known to you. You don't know the power of your lotus feet. My heart weeps because soon you'll leave my palace and go away. The fragrance of your lotus feet spreads in all directions. Simply smelling that fragrance frees anyone from old age and death. One who drinks the nectar of your lotus feet becomes transcendental to day, night, passing of seasons. The pure devotees who lovingly clasp your reddish lotus feet are worshipped by the whole world, and the world becomes auspicious by knowing the feet of such pure devotees." The power of Radharani's pure love. Rukmini Devi continued, "My dear Lord, you control everyone in the three worlds. No one can control you. Now please listen. I'm going to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. Whoever has intense attachment to serving your lotus feet will definitely taste transcendental ecstasy. Because I'm completely devoted and surrendered to you, I can experience the ecstasy of worshipping your lotus feet. You, however, are the Supreme Lord. How can you understand this ecstasy? Besides me, only Srimati Radharani knows how to relish the mellows of love and taste the highest transcendental pleasure. Although devotees discuss these topics throughout the day and night, they are always amazed by the unique quality of Radharani's pure love for you. Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, Lord Brahma, the demigods, the demigoddesses are all eager to serve your lotus feet. By receiving the nectar of your feet, they all attain spontaneous devotional service. Kamala, the goddess of fortune, who always lies on your bed enjoying your kisses and loving embraces, always desires to attain your lotus feet. Who can estimate the unlimited glories of your lotus feet? Even after enjoying so much happiness, the goddess of fortune longs for the mercy achieved by serving your lotus feet. Only Radharani, who enjoyed with you in Vrindavan, can understand this completely. No one can compare with Radharani. It mystifies me how Radharani binds you so completely with her transcendental qualities. Even today your heart pines for her, and tears pour from your eyes whenever you chant the name of Radha. Just see the power of Radharani's pure love. Now, I'm ecstatic to have your lotus feet in my home. Fearing our inevitable separation, I can't help but cry. The taste of serving your lotus feet overpowers my attraction to you. In transcendental love, your devotees always hanker for your lotus feet, meditate upon you, and absorb themselves in your pastimes. You are the only shelter of the pure devotees. Lakshmi Devi always serves your lotus feet with a desire to love you. Although you are her Lord and Master, you fail to reciprocate with her desire and give pain to her heart. Whoever wants to taste an unlimited supply of nectar will find it by serving your lotus feet. Lakshmi and Saraswati think themselves most fortunate to have surrendered at your feet, even if you neglect them. Whoever tastes the ecstasy of your love considers the 4 kinds of liberation and even residence in Vaikuntha to be most insignificant. It is always a quality of your lotus feet that they manifest pure ecstatic love of God in those who serve them. Folded hands, I pray to you, my dear Lord. Your feet are sweeter than lotus nectar. Please give me this benediction. May I become a honeybee, forever attached to your lotus feet. Fearing separation from you, my heart trembles in lamentation. Give me the boon that you'll never leave my home. In reality, this was not a prayer of Rukmini Devi, but rather an outburst of love gushing from her heart of pure devotion. Thus I, Lochana Dasa, sing the nectarine glories of the Lord. Murari Gupta continued narrating the story to Damodar Pandit. Murari said, after hearing Rukmini Devi's wonderful words, Krishna's heart danced in ecstasy. His lotus eyes, reddish like the rising sun, filled with tears of compassion. Sitting on his throne, Lord Krishna gently placed Rukmini on his lap and consoled her. He held Rukmini's chin with his right hand and lovingly looked at her. Waves of nectar overflowed from the ocean of prema within their hearts. Lord Krishna said to Rukmini, "O my beloved, I've never heard such an amazing and wonderful description. Until today, no one has ever suggested to me that I should personally taste the love that my pure devotees have for me." Lord Krishna reveals the form of Gauranga. Suddenly, just at that moment, the great sage Narada Muni arrived in Dwarka. His heart was full of anxiety, and he appeared disturbed. Rukmini Devi stood up respectfully and welcomed the sage with sweet words. Krishna offered asana to Narada, bathed his feet, and affectionately embraced him. In a happy mood, the Lord inquired about Narada's well-being. Narada's eyes were reddish and brimming with tears of divine love. His voice was choked up, his body was shaking. Narada was so overwhelmed from seeing Krishna that all he could do was cry. Though trying repeatedly, Narada couldn't speak due to the effect of transcendental ecstasy. But Krishna said to Narada Muni, "O great sage, please tell us clearly why you're so unhappy and disturbed. You are dear to me than my own life. I know also that I'm your very life and soul. It devastates me to see you in such a condition." Narada replied, "My dear Lord, what shall I say? You're the Lord of everything that exists. You're the super soul in all living entities. Singing your holy names and qualities is my nectarine foodstuff. Enchanted by your transcendental qualities, I traverse the unlimited universes preaching your glories. However, when I can't hear your names being chanted, and when I see conditioned souls intoxicated by pride, absorbed in materialistic activities, devoid of Krishna consciousness, it gives me great pain. I don't see any means of deliverance for these people. Therefore, my mind is always disturbed thinking about this. I've now revealed to you whatever sorrows I had in my mind. In your presence, by the mercy of your lotus feet, I feel greatly relieved." Hearing the words of Narada, Lord Krishna smiled compassionately and said, "Listen, great sage. Somehow you have forgotten about a previous event. Narada, don't you remember the time you gave my Mahaprasad remnants to Lord Shiva? After Parvati ate some, she promised to distribute my Mahaprasad to all living entities." Lord Krishna continued, "Listen, Narada, I just heard a wonderful description from Rukmini. As a result of that, I want to promise you, Narada, that in the age of Kali, I will manifest a form filled with humility. I shall become a devotee of myself in order to taste the happiness relished by my pure devotees. Not only will I experience the bliss of Prema Bhakti, but I'll give it out to everyone in the world. Although I'm the Supreme Lord, I'll appear as my own devotee. In the association of other devotees, I'll freely distribute my love by performing Harinam Sankirtan, congregational chanting of my holy names. I'll appear in the transcendental abode of Navadvip, in Sridhar Mayapur, within the home of Sachimata." Then Krishna explained the qualities of his incarnation in Kali Yuga, by which he would attract the conditioned souls. Lord Krishna said, "Narada, my transcendental body will be tall, molten gold in color. My arms will be long and beautiful. The incomparable beauty of my golden form will defeat the beauty of Mount Sumeru. While absorbed in this ecstasy, Lord Krishna suddenly showed his form as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Narada Muni fainted in divine rapture upon beholding this beautiful form of Lord Krishna, which would appear in the coming age. Lochana Dasa says this was the first time Lord Krishna revealed the transcendental form of Lord Gauranga, the beautiful golden Lord saturated with pure love of God. Murari Gupta continued his story. Beholding such a wonderfully beautiful form, Narada Muni's heart burst with love. Tears gushed from his eyes in 1,000 streams. Gauranga's brilliant golden complexion was more effulgent than millions of suns. The shining beauty of millions of moons and millions of cupids would have been put to shame by his inconceivably beautiful face. Blinded by Gauranga's dazzling effulgence, the sage closed his eyes and trembled in ecstasy. Seeing Narada's stunned condition, Lord Krishna withdrew his glowing effulgence and called out in a loud voice. Returning to external consciousness, Narada saw Lord Krishna before him, but he was very eager to see the Lord's beautiful form as Gauranga once again. Lord Krishna said, "O Narada, most fortunate sage, you will be loved wherever you go. Please go throughout the universe and tell the residents of Brahmaloka and Shivaloka that I will soon incarnate in Kali Yuga as Lord Gauranga. In this form of personified mercy, I will establish the Yuga Dharma of Sankirtan Yagna, revealing the glories of Krishna's holy names. I will personally preach the glories of devotional service and give the bliss of Krishna Prema freely to all. Although over the ages many branches of religion have appeared in the world, I will preach pure love of God to unite all people. I will appear on earth along with my intimate friends and followers. With them I will satisfy my cherished desire to relish the pure love that my devotees taste by serving my lotus feet." Narada's miseries and anxieties disappeared on hearing these divine words from the beautiful mouth of Krishna. Having his heart's desire fulfilled by the Lord, Narada, playing his veena and singing Krishna's names, left Dwarka. Narada visits Uddhava in Namasharanya. While traveling through the airways, Narada reflected on this wonderful pastime. Narada thought, "Oh, what unparalleled beauty have I just seen in the golden form of Lord Gauranga, whose compassionate eyes appeared reddish like the rising sun. Oh, what a profuse expression of nectar I've seen. I saw the sweetest smile on Gaur's beautiful lotus face. He's superior to all the Lord's previous incarnations. Before today, I have never seen such a reservoir of love. My eyes and my life have attained perfection simply by seeing such an embodiment of the ocean of mercy. My heart can never forget him. My eyes long to see Gauranga again and again." While meditating in this way, the sage arrived in Namasharanya, where he met the great devotee Uddhava. Seeing Narada Muni, Uddhava immediately stood up, offered dandavats to the great sage, and then bathed his feet. And Uddhava said to Narada, "This day is most auspicious. I consider myself fortunate because at an auspicious moment you've come to Namasharanya." Narada gave Uddhava a deep embrace, kissed his forehead, smelled his head. Narada expressed a mood of parental affection for the younger Uddhava. After offering a sonnet to Narada, Uddhava revealed his mind to the sage. Uddhava said to Narada, "Today is very special, for I have now attained perfection. There is something that has pained me for a long time which I must tell you. Previously, Vyasadeva lived here in Namasharanya compiling the Vedas, but he wasn't satisfied. Then, by your confidential instructions, Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam in order to deliver the people in general. Narada, you know the absolute truth and the science of Krishna consciousness. Since you can understand the mind of Lord Krishna, please tell me about the future. The people of Kali Yuga are blinded by total absorption in sinful activities. In the previous ages, Satya, Treta, and Dwapara, people were religious. In Kali Yuga, the darkest of ages, however, people know nothing about but impiety. Please dispel my doubt, for no one surpasses your kindness. Can you tell me how people in the age of Kali will be delivered? Narada Muni smiled compassionately, and with a delighted heart said to Uddhava, "Oh, Uddhava, you're a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Your question fills me with joy. Now I will reveal a most confidential subject to you. Not long ago, I felt the same anxiety that you do. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, I now understand the unique position of Kali Yuga. Quite to the contrary, people in this age are the most fortunate. In previous ages, it was always very difficult to follow particular Yuga Dharma, religious practices for perfection. But in Kali Yuga, the process of self-realization is easy, to simply chant Lord Krishna's holy names. In the age of Kali, people can attain freedom from the cycle of birth and death by dancing joyfully and happily singing the Lord's names and qualities. Uddhava, listen carefully and I'll tell you about a wonderful pastime I saw in Dwarka in the spiritual world. When I arrived in Dwarka, Lord Krishna was sitting on his throne with Queen Rukmini. The Lord was telling Rukmini about his desire to distribute his own love to people in general. Seeing I was in a disturbed state, the Lord asked me my condition. Then I expressed my heart to the Lord. With a smiling face, Lord Krishna said, "Narada, just now, Rukmini is telling me about the glories of pure love. I'm becoming overwhelmed with ecstasy simply to hear about it. In Kali Yuga, I will manifest a humble mood in order to taste the love of my beloved. I will give that love to the people." Of course, in the age of Kali, everyone will be fallen, sinful, and irreligious. So, to explain principles of religion, I will present a meek and humble personality. That humble form, the embodiment of divine love, will be the epitome of beauty. He will be tall, molten gold in color, powerfully built with a broad chest and long, graceful arms. Uddhava, while describing this, the Lord suddenly manifested the golden form of Lord Gauranga. At the time, he promised to distribute his love. This is everything that happened to me in Dwarka. Now, I'll travel throughout the world to broadcast the wonderful news of Gauranga's appearance. Eager to taste prema bhakti of his beloved, the Supreme Lord in a transcendental form of unlimited mercy and beauty will descend on earth in Kali Yuga. Listening to Narada's description, Uddhava became stunned with happiness. He started crying, fell down at Narada's feet. Uddhava said, "Narada, I feel completely rejuvenated by your exciting news." Then Narada Muni, playing his veena, went to inform devotees about the Lord's incarnation in the age of Kali. By reading the conversation of Narada Muni and Uddhava taken from the Jamini Bharata, Asvamedha Parva, I, Lochana Dasa, lose myself in transcendental bliss. If you don't understand my words, then you can read the story yourself in the 32nd chapter of Jamini Bharata. Narada Muni visits Lord Shiva in Kailas. Narada Muni continued his, Murari Gupta continued his narration to Damodar Pandit. While playing his veena, continually singing the glories of Gauranga, Narada Muni traveled around the world, informing the demigods about Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Overwhelmed with spiritual rapture, Narada would fall down on the ground again and again. One moment he would cry, the next moment he would laugh loudly, his whole body would tremble, and he would speak in a faltering voice. Hiking up his dhoti, Narada would sometimes jump around excitedly, loudly roaring, "Gaura, Gaura, Gaura." It was impossible for Narada to forget the nectarine love of Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and the beautiful transcendental body more dazzling than the sun that he had just seen. Narada's heart was so full of ecstatic love that sometimes he couldn't move. Nevertheless, within the twinkling of an eye, Narada Muni came to Lord Shiva's abode on Mount Kailas. Narada felt excited about his coming meeting with Mahesh, Lord Shiva. He was eager to tell him about his recent experiences with Lord Krishna. Narada was thinking to himself, Krishna Bhakti is the most nectarine subject in the three worlds. In Kali Yuga, the Lord will reveal the treasure of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Ananta, Shiva, and Brahma are ever desirous of the pure love that the Lord will freely distribute to the fallen miscreants of Kali Yuga. Mahesh will feel great happiness when he hears the good news. By the mercy of Goddess Katyani, I will take the dust of Lord Shiva's feet. By his grace, I'll get strength to chant the holy name. Thinking in this way, Narada Muni approached the door of Lord Shiva's home. Nandi, Lord Shiva's bull, was guarding the door of the powerful Lord Mahesh. After offering respects to the great sage, Nandi informed Shiva and Parvati about Narada's arrival. In a happy mood, Shiva and Parvati came out to greet the sage. Narada Muni, the most intelligent devotee, fell down at the feet of Lord Shiva and Parvati. Feeling ecstatic in the presence of such a Vaishnav, Lord Shiva immediately lifted Narada up and embraced him. In the mood of a loving mother, Katyani said to Narada, "O great sage, please tell me, is everything all right with you? Are the truths of the 14 worlds known to you? On this most auspicious day, where have you come from?" Narada Muni said, "Goddess Katyani, Mahesh, please listen to my wonderful story. You are the mother and father of this universe. You always desire the deliverance of the fallen souls. Now, touching your feet, I will remind you of a confidential subject which you have forgotten. If you listen to my narration, then surely I will receive your mercy." Once upon a time, Uddhava inquired of Lord Krishna, "My Lord, what will happen to the earth after your disappearance? Will any devotees remain here? How will the conditioned souls in the age of Kali attain liberation?" Replying to Uddhava's question, Lord Krishna taught the science of self-realization. He taught Uddhava a philosophy by which a person could attain liberation by seeing the Supreme Lord everywhere and in everything. Lord Krishna said, "Uddhava, always remember that I am the water, the land, the earth, and the tree. I'm the demigod, the Gandharva, and the Yaksha. I'm the creator, and I'm the annihilator. I'm the life of all living beings. I'm within everything. At the same time, I'm outside of everything." After hearing Lord Krishna, Uddhava, striking his chest, expressed his feelings to Lord. "Krishna, I'm convinced you are all-pervading. Your lotus feet are more dear to me than yourself. I can't find the proper words to glorify devotees who take shelter of the moon-like nails of your lotus feet." At that time, Uddhava spoke this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. "Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, cloths, and ornaments that you've already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy." Uddhava continued, "Krishna, the ability of this Haridas to conquer Maya comes from eating your Mahaprasad remnants. Therefore, I always desire to receive your food remnants." Narada waits 12 years for Mahaprasad. Narada continued speaking to Parvati and Lord Shiva. Hearing this conversation between Lord Krishna and Uddhava, I became dumbstruck. Although I myself have been on the path of devotion for a long time, and have been constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord, still I had no idea about the potency of Lord Krishna's Mahaprasad. Simply on the strength of the Lord's Mahaprasad, Haridas Uddhava had become a powerful, pure devotee preacher of the Supreme Lord. In the presence of the Lord, Uddhava praised that Mahaprasad. Within my heart, however, I felt deprived because I'd never tasted the Lord's Mahaprasad. Then I thought of how to please the Lord with my actions, so that he would give me a taste of his Mahaprasad. With this idea, I visited Vaikuntha and rendered various services to Lakshmi Devi. Being satisfied with me, Lakshmi Devi affectionately said, "Tell me, Narada, what do you want? I'll give you a boon." After hearing her offer, I decided to reveal my heart's desire. With folded hands, I told Lakshmi Devi, "For a long time, I've been feeling pain within my heart. Everyone knows I'm your servant, but somehow I never got the chance to taste Lord's Mahaprasad. please glance favorably upon me. Give me the boon of receiving a handful of Lord Narayan's Mahaprasad. That's my only desire. Lakshmi Devi became astonished and surprised to hear my request. Then she submissively said, Narada, Lord Narayan ordered me not to distribute his Mahaprasad remnants to anyone. How can I break the order of the Lord, my dear Narada? But listen, I will disobey his order and give you some. Considering my predicament, however, you must wait for some time. Then I'll collect the Mahaprasad for you. Fully understanding my situation, Lakshmi Thakurani appropriately responded with such sweet and compassionate words. Some time later, the Lord, in a jolly mood, took Lakshmi Devi by the hand, sat her down beside him. At that time, Lakshmi Devi wanted to ask the Lord about the Mahaprasad, but she feared his reaction. In a submissive voice, Lakshmi Devi said, My Lord, I have something to ask you, but I'm afraid to speak. I have a problem and I need your help. My Lord, please save your maidservant. Please listen. O abode of all transcendental qualities, I'm holding your feet. Smiling slightly with a sign of questioning in his eyes, Lord Narayan cast a glance toward his Sudarshan disc. Beginning to tremble, Sudarshan spoke humbly to the Lord, My Lord, I don't know the cause, but it seems that Lakshmi Devi has a problem. Then Lakshmi Devi said, It's not Sudarshan's fault, but Narada Muni's request has put me in anxiety. Although nobody knows it, Narada has served for 12 years. Being pleased, I offered him a boon. Narada repeatedly asked for the same thing. He wants nothing other than your Mahaprasad remnants, my Lord. Although I have no power to disobey your order, I carelessly gave this promise to Narada Muni. Oh, my Lord, please save me. Engage me in your service. Understanding her dilemma, Lord Narayan said, Listen, my dear Lakshmi, you made a big mistake. Without my knowledge, you can give my remnants to Narada. After some days had passed, the mother of the universe, Lakshmi, gave me some of Lord Narayan's Mahaprasad remnants. I honored the Mahaprasad to my full satisfaction. Of course, the incomparable effulgence of Lord Narayan's transcendental form defeats the combined brilliance of millions of moons and millions of suns, and his indescribable beauty puts millions of Kamadevas to shame. Yet, by the touch of the Lord's Mahaprasad, my own effulgence and spiritual potency has increased 100 times. Feeling intense spiritual ecstasy, I chanted Hare Krishna and played my veena as I traveled to Kailas to see you. Lord Shiva said to Narada Muni, I must say, Narada, you look extraordinary. Tell me, why do you appear so spiritually surcharged and effulgent? After hearing Narada describe his experiences, Lord Shiva scolded him. Narada, after getting the Lord's Mahaprasad, which is rarely attained, you ate it all yourself, without offering any to me. Out of affection you have come to see me, but why didn't you bring me any of this rare treasure? The effects of Mahaprasad on Lord Shiva. Hearing Shiva's statements of dissatisfaction, Narada hung his head down in shame. Narada remembered he still had a morsel of Mahaprasad. With great delight, he quickly gave it to Mahesh. Immediately, Lord Shiva ate the Mahaprasad, and to everyone's surprise, Mahesh Thakur Shiva began dancing uncontrollably in the joyous ecstasy of love of God. The earth trembled under the pounding of his feet. Everyone became amazed, seeing Mount Sumeru rocking back and forth in ecstasy due to Shiva's powerful dance. Vashumati, Mother Earth, was also rocking dangerously. Overcome by the bliss of pure love of Krishna, Lord Shiva totally forgot himself. His devastating dance threatened to drive the Earth planet down to Rasatala, the bottom of the universe. The hood of Anantadev was stretching back and forth, the touching of the back of Kurma was stretching back and forth to the point of touching the back of Kurma. Startled by this strange tickling sensation, Kurma poked his head out of his shell and stared at Ananta. Lord Shiva's loud and euphoric roaring of the Lord's holy names bounced off the dome-like coverings of the universe, reverberating throughout the 10 directions. Seeing the whole universe shaking in ecstasy, unable to tolerate the weight of Shiva's dancing, Mother Bhumi, earth personified, ran to Mount Kailas. With folded hands, Mother Bhumi appealed to Goddess Katyani. "O Parvati Devi, please, I will die if your husband keeps on dancing. I see the whole material world is also in great danger, so you better do something if you want to save the creation from destruction." After hearing Mother Bhumi's plea, Parvati rushed to the place where Pashupati, Shiva, the Lord of the living entities, was dancing in a trance of divine ecstasy. With folded hands, Parvati Devi spoke some harsh words to break the Lord Shiva's absorption. His ecstasy broken by Parvati's strong words, Lord Shiva regained external consciousness. Feeling very sad, he said, "Devi, what you just did is not proper. Why did you interrupt my ecstasy? By doing so, you have practically killed me. You are acting like my enemy. I've never tasted so much bliss before in my whole life. Why did you stop it?" Feeling great distress, Parvati Devi spoke again with doleful words. "My lord, just see the earth before you. The weight of your dancing has pushed you down to the bottom of the universe. Because you're threatening to destroy the universe, I spoke such strong words to you. Please forgive me for my offense." With a smile of satisfaction, Lord Shiva pardoned his wife. Seeing her husband in a relaxed mood, Parvati humbly asked him a question. "Prabhu, every day you dance in the ecstasy of pure Krishna consciousness. Why is it that today your dancing has pushed the earth down to Rasatala? Your spiritual effulgence is as brilliant as 10 million suns. I've never seen you exhibit such a magnificent form. Please tell me, why is it that today you displayed such unlimited rapture in Krishna Prem?" Lord Shiva replied, "Devi, listen to the joyful news of my good fortune. Today the great sage Narada gave me some of Lord Narayan's Mahaprasad remnants. Although glorified in the Vedas, Vishnu's Mahaprasad is inconceivably rare. In all 3 worlds it is very difficult to get the Lord's remnants, which are mixed with the nectar of Krishna's lips. Today my life is a success. By the mercy of Narada Muni, I received Narayan's Mahaprasad. This is my real wealth and the source of my ecstasy." Noticeably disturbed by her husband's statement, Mahamaya Parvati said, "For all this time I thought that you were always kind and merciful to me. As husband and wife were one. You have accepted me as half of your body. But today your false love is revealed. It's all just pretension. You cheated me. After getting that rarely attainable Mahaprasad, you ate it all yourself. You didn't even give me a speck of it." Sulapani Shiva, holder of the trident, feeling slightly guilty, said, "O Bhavani Parvati, goddess of the material energy, you have no right to receive this transcendental wealth." The Vishnu Katyani Samvada. These words inflamed Adya Shakti, Parvati, with furious anger. Parvati said, "One of my names is Vaishnavi, and I also have devotion for Lord Vishnu. Now, before this assembly, I make a solemn vow. If Lord Narayan bestows his compassion upon me, I will make sure that the Lord's Mahaprasad is distributed to everyone throughout the universe, even to dogs and jackals." At that moment, the Lord of Vaikuntha, Vishnu himself, arrived in Kailas to uphold Parvati's promise. Respectfully, Parvati stood up and offered obeisances to the Lord. With tears in her eyes, she let out a sigh and told her problem to the Lord. In a joyful mood, I, Lochana Dasa, narrate this story. Murari Gupta continued speaking to Damodar Pandit. Then Lord Vishnu spoke in a sweet voice. "Katyani, don't be in ignorance. You are my Adi Shakti, and through you I manifest the entire material creation. I know that you have devotion for me. You are my Prakriti Svarupini, the form of Vishnu's energy. You always engage in my devotional service. Without you, the material creation can't exist. The whole creation worships you and your husband, Lord Shiva, as Hara and Gauri, knowing that you're both my very self. Pleasing you removes the misconception that you and Lord Shiva are different from me. Please be assured I will keep your promise. I will personally distribute my Mahaprasad to everyone in the universe. Lord Vishnu, the possessor of all Jew-like qualities, continued speaking. Listen, Katyani Devi. Now I'll tell you a secret about an ancient episode which will alleviate the miseries of the material world. No one knows the inner meaning of the story concerning the demigods' churning of the ocean of nectar. They used Mandara mountain as the churning rod, Vasuki, the king of the snakes, as the rope. The first object they produced from the churning was a kalpataru, a tree which gives unlimited wealth and fulfills all personal desires. Within that special tree there was a transcendental effulgence emanating from the beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya, the supreme embodiment of pure mercy. There has never been a form or incarnation equal to the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He is the fountainhead of all incarnations. He will appear in the world, displaying his transcendental pastimes by preaching Krishna consciousness. I will distribute my mercy to the people in general. In the age of Kali, I will manifest the golden form of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu to propagate Sankirtan Yagna, congregational chanting of my holy names. Taking the form of the golden avatar, I will fulfill your vow, Parvati, and give love of Krishna to everyone. Please keep this confidential topic secret. In the form of Lord Gauranga, the essence of all incarnations and full of all transcendental qualities, I will deliver all people in Kali Yuga. The preceding conversation between Lord Vishnu and Parvati Devi, which is called the Vishnu Katyani Samvada, was taken from the Padma Purana. King Prataparudra, who was an ocean of transcendental qualities, distributed these teachings throughout his empire. Narada Muni continued talking to Lord Shiva. Mahesh, the Lord ordered me to announce his upcoming appearance in Kali Yuga. At that time, the Lord and his eternal associates will descend to earth to remove all calamities. The Supreme Lord in the form of Lord Gauranga will appear in a Brahmin family. Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi became happy after hearing the good news from Narada. Bliss filled the home of Lord Shiva as everyone loudly chanted the holy names of the Lord. Sounds of Hari Hari vibrated everywhere. Playing sweetly on his veena, Narada Muni left Mount Kailas.